All right, fellas, I want to talk about Obi now. We've seen Obi now in 6 games as the starter, and this is what he's averaging: 14.5 points per game, 7.2 rebounds per game, 3.3 assists per game. He's only averaging one turnover, but he's shooting 59.3% from the field. He's gotten the 3-point percentage up to 33.3% from the three, and he's shooting 85% from the charity stripe. So these numbers as a starter, I think if we are going to move on from Julius Randle, these numbers are perfect in replacement. I think, Foxy, you've mentioned it time and time again that, the extra points per game you were getting from Julius Randle, you can get elsewhere. And the rebounds, we've talked about some of these guards we have on this team that are pretty good rebounders. So I think this team is set up if we decide to elevate Obi into that starting role. Has there been anything that has stuck out to you guys from Obi's play as he's been given more and more opportunity out there on the court? Foxy, we'll start with you.
No, that he's impressing. His MO from college, everything that his first, he goes to a place and then the next year he really grows. And so he's shown exponential growth. We hope he gets a little better on D, but he's every game we've seen him fake a three, do a pull up midi. So hey, we want to get rid of Randall. And you were looking at these stats, folks, and as Keith just said, we're a blink away, rounded off 15 points. Those 5 points, as Keith just said, we could distribute among RJ and a few of the other guys. The 7 rebounds, the 3 rebound from the 10 rebounds. Again, Mitch and he said quickly's rebounding like a whirlwind lately. He's a great rebounding, and the other kids in the same thing on the assists. So he's showing it. I love it. Get rid of Randall.
Yeah. What I love about him is that, what we lose in having that guy on the court who draws double teams and has some gravity to him, like Randall. When we lose that, we gain some guy who's in constant motion, constantly cutting, who gives a jolt of energy on the floor. What's also awesome about him is that he keeps the ball moving. When he doesn't see something quickly, he doesn't have an idea. Like he has great instincts in understanding, okay, I can beat this guy right now, and he'll make a move or two. He doesn't really force it as much as you would think for someone who's only a second-year player. He's showing a lot. I mean, I think I agree. I think we could easily survive without Randall. I think we could easily miss the play-in without Randall. I mean, anyone who's like defending Randall, oh, we need him on this team, and all that. Yeah, we need him to what? To miss the playoffs again? We can't hear you, Keith.
My bad. Say, look, I was able to cut you off without even speaking.
Yeah.
without you being able to hear me. That's crazy. But to be fair with Julius, people say that because they say Julius is not going to be the same Julius we see this season. They think he's going to fall somewhere in between what we have this year and what we saw last year. And I think that version of Julius is a talented player and could get us, a little bit further than we are now. It's just unfortunate we've been unable to see that Julius, and we don't know if we'll ever be able to get him back on track here in New York. I think that's the biggest issue when it comes to him.
Yeah, he's great on a bad team, but on a good team, he'll never accept being a second or third option, and that's the big thing with him. He won't accept RJ becoming the face of the franchise. He'll just be a saboteur in our midst as long as we keep him.
Yep. So if we do decide to stick with Obi as the starter, what do you think his ceiling would be? Where do you think he could become one of those all-star power forwards in this league? Or do you think he'll be more so just a solid starter in this league? And, at least even though he won't be all-star level, he'll be worthy of the spot in which we drafted him.
We saw the impact on Blake Griffin by his career by having a CP. But you imagine, let's say it's IQ, let's say it's an RJ, and God please, God please, it's a Ben. Those guys feeding him for baseline dunks and in transition and everything. I think everyone would see him as a totally different player with the right guys around him, and also a different coach around him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he. You can see, when he's on the court with like Derrick Rose, how he just how effective that point guard uses him. So if he was on the court, imagine, if he played with that's another reason why IQ should have started. Because Obi started. So why not you all season long, you talk about, I like that unit. I like the way that unit plays together. Well, one of those key players from that unit is in the starting lineup because of injury. So why not promote the other one too? Especially since the guy who's playing point isn't a point guard. So this is the kind of frustration.
Wait, that's not according to Tibbs, and Keys will get to that in a little while, but he drives me crazy by his comments because it was almost I took it as a derogatory comment toward Quick, that we'll get to, but doesn't surprise me. But the Keys' thing, I could absolutely see Obi, people looking at him in a totally different way, utilizing his talents rather than parking him out by the 3-point line like Tibbs did in his first season.
Fellas, I just want to answer Ola Sumbo's question. It says, how many minutes is he averaging? He's averaging 32.2 minutes per game in those 6 starts.
I think, I've said this before. I do believe that him in the right situation could be a 20-10 guy.
Absolutely.
Like 20 points, 10 rebounds. I think he could average that for a season or 2 in his career. I think it could be a solid starter. Maybe average over the arc of a full career, maybe 18 points a game, around there, 9 rebounds, 8.5 to 9 rebounds for the whole career. That's a quality starting power forward. His athleticism is just crazy. It's just, and he's fun to watch. I think he's fun to play with. You could see the other guys on the court enjoy playing with him. So
don't forget the assists, man. He had 4 yesterday. He's a better passer. He just hasn't, with the pinch post and stuff, he hasn't been put in that situation. So I think, and what you just touched on, the different, one of the key differences between him and Randall is that there's a smile on his face. There's a different joy. There's a different energy rather than a scowl and screaming at the refs every 2 seconds.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so is he ever going to give you a season like Randall gave us last year? Well, there's been very few like that. 24, what was it? 24, 10, and 6 on 40% from the three-point line. Only Larry Bird has ever done that.
Yep.
That's it. Isn't it crazy to think only Larry Bird has ever done it? Jokic almost did it with Randall last season. You remember that, guys? But his, I think one of the stats dropped just below that threshold
by the end of the season.
Yeah. Actually, Jokic is doing it this year. So those are MVP type seasons. In fact, Larry Bird won the MVP when he did it, and I think
Randall got a vote, didn't he?
Randall, I think he did get a vote. Yeah.